All right, welcome everybody to the Misfit Media podcast. I have no idea what number we're on right now,
I think it's
but
4.
four? Okay,
Yeah, I
so
think
this is
it's
going to be
4.
podcast number 4. We're going to start trying to do these at least once a week now. We're going to be changing up the format a little bit with how we do things. First of all, we're going to be doing our introductions. Then we're just going to go over some general like updates and stuff with our own channels. Jack with his Twitch channel and me with my YouTube. And then we're gonna get into whatever we're reviewing. So that's gonna be the format from this one going on. My name is Tactical Bacon, aka Tacky Chan, aka the Glass and Fool. You guys can find me at YT Tactical Bacon, but I do not use Twitter that often, so go join the Facebook group. Just look up YT Tactical Bacon on Facebook.
And I am Faded Calico Jack. You guys pretty much just know me as Jack. My Twitch is www.fadedcalicojack.com. Pretty simple. I stream every day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm leaving open to do Misfit Media stuff, as we were doing today. So go ahead and check out my channel when you get a chance. Also got a new YouTube channel up. It's called Ben Bites Biscuit Hockey. It's just like it sounds. It's just all hockey stuff. If you're into that, go check it out. If not, then I guess you don't have to.
Was Ben Bites the Biscuit taken?
No. It's
Okay.
always been Ben Bites Biscuit.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
that is actually a nickname there, or like something that was an inside joke between a friend of mine, because when we were kids, we were playing one day and we were playing like street hockey. And he shot a puck at me, and I was playing goalie, and I actually caught it in my mouth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I mean, we weren't using like real pucks. I mean, if we were using a real puck, obviously probably knocked all my fucking teeth out. But
yeah,
it was like one of those. I don't want to say it was like a Nerf puck. I mean, it was like rubber, but it was like really thin rubber. Like it really wasn't that heavy. It wasn't, Okay. Plus, I mean, we must have been like 9 or 10 years old anyway. We thought it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
So, and then I found out later that in hockey, biscuit is slang for a puck. So, yeah.
Okay.
Now that I've rendered that useless explanation,
down here in the South, we call biscuits breakfast.
Yes.
So
you put gravy on them and.
Fuck. Everybody else does. I don't eat that shit. That shit looks weird. That fucking white gravy with the spots and shit. I mean, I know it's like some kind of spice or whatever, but god, it looks.
When you're eating
disgusting.
your biscuits in the morning, do you have it with blue milk?
Only if it's freshly squeezed.
That fucking scene, dude.
Only if it's freshly squeezed. But
it looks like he squeezes out of a testicle. It's like a giant testicle.
Yeah, it's like
squeezes blue milk.
A testicle with a nipple. Yeah, fucking crazy. But yeah, give us some news on your Twitch. You got anything out of the ordinary going on? You got anything new going on?
Not really. I had some giveaways going on.
Any kind of schedule changes you want to make for the holidays?
You guys can check that stuff out. Oh, on the Twitch channel on the 25th, I will be playing live for 3.5 minutes. Tacky's Survivor video.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what?
You guys will be able to view it on Tacky's YouTube channel, our YouTube channel. Should we just post it in one fucking place, or?
Nah, we're posting it a million places. We're posting it on Twitter. We're posting it on Facebook. We're gonna be posting it on YouTube, Google Plus,
so you
fucking
can
LinkedIn,
fucking view it everywhere.
Fucking MySpace shit, you know.
Tacky will come over to your house and tattoo it on your mom's ass.
Yeah.
Scene by scene.
Yeah, I'll come by with my phone. I'll come by with my phone and I'll show it to your dog as I'm slapping your neighbor in the balls while wearing a leather gimp mask.
That's interesting. That got a little weird at the end there. It escalated a little quickly.
Sometimes you gotta get a little weird, you know.
All right, so I guess we should jump into this fucking podcast.
Hold on. I haven't done anything for my shit yet. Why do you think that you just get to fucking announce your shit and then that's
Oh, I
it?
don't know. I just figured we were going off on I thought you
God
did yours
damn.
when you told them your channels and stuff. But give me your
No, no,
news.
no.
Give me your news.
Like we're supposed to give like updates and shit.
I'm fucking stoned right now. I don't know what the fuck
Ah,
I'm doing.
Jesus. Whatever. Anyways, on my channel, guys, for the next couple of days, or for the next couple of weeks, actually, this week and next week, we're going to be cutting back to 2 videos a week. We have an Overpock video that just went up a little while ago, as of the time that we're recording this video. And then we're going to have another video that could possibly be a different video game, maybe Arma 3 or something like that. Coming out later this week, and then next week we're going to have another Overpock video, and then the Daisy Survivor short film coming out. And then after that, let's see, we are probably going to get back to our typical Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule after that. So yeah, that was pretty much all the updates I had for my channel. I'm going to start doing a little more promoting of the podcast if we can actually get the schedule locked down. I know that the past couple weeks have kind of been sporadic. You know, you'll get a podcast and then you got to wait like 2 weeks, and then you get another one, and then you wait 3 weeks to a month, and then you get another one. So we're going to try to be a little bit better about that and upload at least once a week to this channel as far as the podcasts are concerned. So,
Holidays are a motherfucker.
Yep, holidays are a motherfucker, but then also, you know, just
Not maintaining a
living,
motherfucker.
yeah, living hundreds of miles away from each other is kind of a motherfucker. And you know, with my work schedule, you know, sometimes I work till like later on in the day, and Jack is off playing fucking Second Life or whatever the fuck he does, and then I'm just kind of left with my dick in my hand by the end of the night. But anyways, yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the spoiler review. If you wanted to go ahead, I think Jack has a 5-paragraph essay that he'd like to read off to everybody.
If you guys do not want to hear spoilers, now would be the time to stop the podcast.
Yeah.
And then when I get done with this section, I will tell you to restart it, or at this point, start listening if you don't want to hear spoilers, because this is going to have all the spoilers in it.
It's going to be in the title of the video that this is a spoiler review. It's going to be in the thumbnail of the video that this is a spoiler review. And we are clarifying for you right now that this is a spoiler review. If you have not seen The Last Jedi yet, number one, if you really enjoy Star Wars and you haven't seen the movie yet, what the fuck are you doing? Go to the movie theaters and see it right now, and then come back and listen to the rest of this podcast. But
I can honestly say that I think that this film was good enough that once you guys hear this, even knowing what happens, you should still see it, because it's not going to ruin it for you. You still need to see it and experience it.
Yeah, I think that I would rather them watch it first and then listen, as opposed to just listening to us talk about it for a bit and then. But anyways, yeah, go ahead with your essay.
So I'm pretty sure everybody's familiar with who's in this movie: Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Adam Driver, Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, Andy Serkis, Lupita Nyong'o.
Mm-hmm.
Knew I was gonna fuck
Kelly
that up.
Marie Tran.
Kelly Marie Tran, Laura Dern, who I was really surprised to see, but pleasantly surprised, Benicio del Toro, Gwendolyn Christie, who was actually pretty fucking awesome as Captain Phasma, I'm not gonna lie, Anthony Daniels, who's always great as C-3PO. Who else did I get to? Okay, John Williams did the music. Cinematography was Steve Yedlin. Edited by Bob Doucet. Production company, obviously, Lucasfilm. And yet again, it's another Disney property, because Disney be buying up them properties like Infinity Stones, motherfuckers.
Disney owns the world.
Yep. So, the movie released on December 9th, 2017. It's 152 minutes. And at the 150 fucking minute mark, it goes silent. I noticed there was a lot of people freaking out about that. Like, I know the movie theaters were made aware of it because they told us about it before the movie started.
Is that when Laura Dern does her thing?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my god, that was a beautiful scene. But
it
we'll
was.
we'll talk about that later. Let's.
Yeah. All the audio mutes out, and if fucking everybody thinks it's like an issue with the video, and it's not. It's supposed to do that.
Yeah.
It had a budget of 200 million, and in so far as of December 18th, it's made 473 million.
That's worldwide.
Yeah.
I believe domestic box office was around 220. I want to say.
Um. Yeah, it's grossed 241.6 million in the United States and Canada and 253 million in other territories for a worldwide total of 494.6 million.
And list your sources, sir, so people know where you're getting it from.
Let me That's Star Wars The Last Jedi box office mojo. That information was retrieved on December 9th, 2017.
So that is box office mojo for anybody that wants to say, oh, it didn't make that much or it made more. That's
I
box
can't
office mojo.
verify these, but I'm going through basing off these other people's stats. So
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not going to sit here and fucking tally all this shit up all day.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a life, but I mean, I got to check off a couple of times a day.
Yeah.
The new movie's going to come out December 20th, 2019. Okay, so here is the plot of this movie. Basically, resistance fighters led by Princess Leia Organa evacuate their base when a First Order fleet arrives. Very similar to Empire Strikes Back, I know, but I still thought it was a fucking excellent movie. Following an effective but costly counterattack led by Poe Dameron, the Resistance vessels jump into hyperspace to escape, but the First Order follows using a tracking device. Now, I want to pause right here, because before I went to see this movie, I watched all of the Star Wars movies in fucking chronological order, not like the order they were released, but in storyline order. When I watched Rogue One,
1 through 7.
When I watched Rogue One, I noticed something.
Okay.
When I actually tagged you in it on Facebook, even though I know you hate being tagged, but
I do.
when they are in the thing getting the Death Star plans on Scarif, and she's scanning through the computer, reading stuff off, she actually reads fucking plans for hyperspace tracking.
Oh yeah, that's very possible that they snuck it in there for this movie.
Yep. I was like, well played, Disney. Well played. Kylo Ren, Leia's son, destroys the Resistance support fighters, but hesitates to fire at the lead Resistance ship after sensing his mother's presence. TIE fighters destroy the bridge of the ship, several Resistance leaders, incapacitating Leia, leaving Vice Admiral Holdo in command. Disapproving of Holdo's passive strategy, Poe, Finn, BB-8, Mechanic, Rose, Tico embark on a secret plan to disable the tracking device. Now, do you want to talk about that fucking scene?
The one close to the end?
No, the one where Leia, during the beginning when they're attacking, and Leia gets ejected into space. That was fucking badass.
Okay, so very quickly before I start talking about anything else in the movie, can we just have a moment of silence for Admiral Akbar?
Yes.
Like that one. Oh my god. You have no idea how badly I just wanted to go, no! It like right there in the theater when they mentioned like all the people that had died. They were like, Admiral Akbar is dead. I'm like, no! Not Admiral Akbar. But yeah, as far as the scene, it's a very controversial scene. I'm aware. Leia in space. It looks like she's dead. And then she comes back, like it's like the Force has and no pun intended here, but a force field around her, and because there's no gravity in space, obviously, and yes, I know I'm saying that there's no gravity in space, but also 15-20 minutes before the scene that I'm talking about right now, there were actual bombs dropping, like there was gravity in space on a what was that ship called? The Dauntless or whatever? No, that the Dauntless was the ship later on in the film. It was one of the Empire or the First Order's like big ships. What was that thing called?
Fuck, I don't remember.
I've
But
seen the
wasn't
movie
it? It
three
was
times
like,
and I have I
yeah, it
cannot
was like
remember.
Snoke's fucking ship, right?
No. This was the one that they blew up, but they lost all the all the resistance people, or almost all the
Oh,
resistance people
oh,
because of
fuck! It was
that.
something that had to do with the apocalypse, wasn't it? Like
Something,
Dauntless or something like that.
yeah, something like
Dreadnought,
that.
the Dreadnought.
Dreadnought. There you go.
Boom.
And
Yeah.
I don't think that's the name of the ship. I think that's
Take
the
that,
class
marijuana.
of ship that the
Yeah.
ship is actually is a dreadnought class first order ship. I don't think that was actually the name of it. But anyways, um, but yeah, her flying in space. The first time I watched the movie, because like I mentioned just a second ago, I've seen the movie 3 times now. The first time I watched the movie, I was kind of like, I don't know. This is kind of weird, but they wanted to do something different with this movie. And this is going to be a point that I make a lot throughout this entire podcast is when The Force Awakens came out, everybody was complaining, "Oh, this is just like A New Hope," and why aren't they creating new stories, this and that and the other. And The Last Jedi comes out and it's completely different. Granted, there are some scenes that like reflect Empire and Jedi.
But see, I liked that. It was like paying homage to it, you know?
Yeah,
Because it
but it
wasn't
wasn't the whole
totally the same.
movie.
Yeah.
Like some people are criticizing The Force Awakens for. So you get something different and then you want to complain about it because it's it's different, but it's not the different that you wanted it to be. So, but like I was saying, the first time I saw it, I was like, I have no idea how I feel about this. Um, the second time I saw it, I was like, okay, that is kind of cool. She's actually using the Force. And the third time I saw it, I was like, okay, yeah, this is definitely cool. Um, but I really did not know how to feel about not only that scene but the entire movie the first time I saw it.
Yeah. Well, I've had time to think on it. And I really think that in the in-between times, Leia trained with Luke. And I think that she has honed her Force ability. And I mean, she's a fucking Skywalker, so she would be like really fucking powerful with the Force.
Well, yeah, that and like maybe she didn't even train with Luke. Like maybe that's just like a
Her
force
natural
pull.
ability.
Like
Yeah.
how much like knowledge, like pre-existing knowledge of the Force do you really need in order to force pull yourself through space?
And if people who watch a lot of Star Wars stuff notice too, especially when it talks about kids who have Force abilities, people who aren't trained that well, usually their
Mm-hmm.
Force powers come when they're in some sort of danger. Like, kind of like how superheroes that can't control their abilities, but when they feel threatened or scared or something, it comes out and they're able to be like, oh shit, I didn't know I could do
Right.
that.
Yeah.
So, but in Leia's case, she may have known that she could do it, and
Mm-hmm.
then she just did it. But I don't think she's gonna die until the next movie, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because she did give her permission for them to CGI her too, so I mean they could still use her in the next.
It's going to be
movie.
very interesting to see how that plays
But
out.
basically, each one of these paragraphs, Tacky, talks about a key scene in the movie. How about we read the paragraph and then we'll discuss it? Because then we can go through kind of scene by
Okay.
scene.
Okay.
Meanwhile, while all that shit was going on and Leia was being the fucking Mary Poppins her ass, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all! That's what I thought of. I saw that. I was like, is this a common theme in movies this year? I'm Mary Poppins, y'all!
You should have just yelled that out in the theater when that was happening. Mary Poppins, y'all!
And fucking after that, while that's all going on, Rey arrives on the remote planet of Ahch-To, where the Force Awakens ended, with Chewbacca and R2-D2 on the Millennium Falcon, and they go to find Luke Skywalker. Disillusioned by his failures of the Jedi, Luke initially refuses, even after learning of Han Solo's death. Unbeknownst to Luke, Rey and Kylo begin communicating with each other through telepathic visions. Prompted by R2-D2, Luke eventually agrees to teach Rey the ways of the Force. Luke and Kylo give Rey differing accounts of the incident that turned Kylo to the dark side, with Luke confessing that he momentarily contemplated killing Kylo upon sensing that Supreme Leader Snoke had corrupted him, causing Kylo to destroy Luke's emergent Jedi Order in retaliation. Convinced that Kylo can still be redeemed, Rey leaves Ahch-To to confront Kylo without Luke. Luke prepares to burn down the Ahch-To temple and library, but he encounters Yoda's Force Ghost, who destroys the temple himself and encourages Luke to learn from his failure. So what did you think about that whole scene?
Wow, you actually mentioned quite a few scenes in that one paragraph. First of all, R2-D2 showing Luke Skywalker the Princess Leia video from A New Hope. I thought that was like spot on. Like that was a really nice touch. And
I agree.
Yeah. But the way that Luke reacted when he threw the lightsaber over his shoulder,
oh,
I was
dude,
just like, what?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, are they showing blooper reels? Is this a blooper? What's going on? And I was just like, what the fuck?
But yeah, no, the Link thing with Kylo and Rey, I thought that was kind of cool. Because obviously at first I think she could see his surroundings, but he couldn't see hers.
Yeah.
For one reason or another. Maybe it had something to do with the Jedi Island or the Jedi Temple on the island that they were around. Maybe that blocked
him
his
from
vision.
seeing her
Yeah, because Snoke is the one that set that link up.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see. Whoa, Jesus Christ! What else did you talk about in that paragraph? No, seriously, I'm asking you.
They can then Luke eventually begins to teach Rey the ways of the Force. Now, the training scenes really disappointed me. I thought it was going to show like different stuff than what
you thought it was going to show. Rey on Luke's back, or Luke on Rey's back.
Oh yeah,
and she's like running up the hill.
Yeah, no, like I expected some sort of like actual fucking training. I mean, it wasn't like he really even trained her. It's like he was being a dick to her the entire time.
Right.
You know, and I felt like those scenes probably could have been stretched out a little bit longer. And show a little bit more of the training. Because, I mean, as far as from what it showed, he didn't really train her on anything. You know, especially when she sees that black hole thing down there, and he freaks out because he's like, oh, that's dark side energy, and you didn't even fucking try to fucking resist it, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know. It's like he didn't train her anything. Like, she's doing everything herself.
So, I didn't really think that Luke had that much training in Empire with Yoda, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but it seems like Yoda did more with Luke. Like, you know, when it came to, like, lifting rocks, you know, lightsaber training, freaking shit like that.
Okay, but I mean, did you really want to see Rey lift a rock? Okay, so technically, she did lift rocks. She did have her moment, kind of like where Luke went into the swamp and into the tree or whatever, and fought Vader, and the mask fell apart or whatever, and it was Luke under the mask. She had her vision quest thing, her Jedi vision quest, and then her training was somewhat abruptly ended.
Yeah, I just think there's more to her character than what's being put out.
Well, yeah,
that we may not find out until the last movie comes out.
Okay, so I honestly think that people are making a big deal out of nothing with who her parents are. Like, yes, we as Star Wars fans are accustomed to getting a character and then saying, okay, who is this person related to? Because ever since Empire, when you found out that Vader was Luke's dad, everybody was like, oh, and then that Leia was Luke's sister. You didn't find that out until Return of the Jedi, though. But I
Yeah.
mean, you kind of knew. But anyways, um, but and then when we go back to the prequels, there's young Obi-Wan, and then there's young Anakin Skywalker, who's gonna one day become Darth Vader. It cannot always be about the Skywalkers. Like yes, that's who we've grown accustomed to in this trilogy, but unfortunately, because of the way that everything's going, if in the next movie Rey kills Kylo Ren, which is a very good possibility, if she kills Kylo Ren, and if Leia ends up dying in the next movie as well, that means that all the Skywalkers
Are gone.
that we know of are gone.
Yep.
So where would you go from there?
I don't know. Like I said, that's why, because since they're not using extended or the extended universe stuff, I don't know, because
exactly. So you would have to create a new character.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's fine that we can. Or okay, so my issue with people not being able to grasp it is, why are we able to grasp this stuff in video games so much easier than with Star Wars?
Yeah,
I'm talking about like the Star Wars games too.
My only qualm with it is like the build up. Is why have such a build up if it's not, like, and it's something that we'll discuss later when we get into the Snoke stuff. But yeah, like I don't understand why there was a build up, and like Disney kind of started a thing around like who are her parents and stuff like that. And so, if they were fucking nobodies, like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the introduction of new characters. That's fine. I totally get. And after how this movie ended, I now think I understand what Disney is doing and where they're going. They're veering it into a direction for a new generation, and I think they did that very well. I really do. I mean, I really enjoyed this movie, and like I said, the people saying that this shouldn't be canon, no, it should, because Luke can't last forever. I mean, Yoda was training Jedi way longer than Luke ever did. And, Luke's still human. So he still has a human lifespan.
Yeah.
So, but,
hold on, real quick. The people who put up that petition to make The Last Jedi not canon,
don't know.
Those are the same people who just a couple years ago said, oh, Force Awakens is just like The New Hope. It fucking retreaded the same ground that we've already seen. Like, I've already seen this movie. You just put some different characters in it, better graphics,
but see,
and slapped a different name on it.
To me, they're making like a political point with that. Like, we're doomed to make the same mistakes throughout history. Like, that's to me what that is. That's what I'm perceiving that as. I'm okay with that.
So what I'm perceiving it as the rebellion was never really that big, and it never really outnumbered the Empire. Because even after you killed Vader and Emperor Palpatine, or Darth Sidious, or whatever the fuck you want to call him, fucking, like, after those two were dead, the Empire still continued. Like, there's books that are canon. There are small little Android video games that are canon that take place right after that happened. So where would you like them to go? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, so now the next scene where Luke and Kylo are giving Rey different accounts of what turned Kylo to the dark side. So I'm to understand that Kylo wasn't completely dark side until Luke did that, and then that's what the fucking final nail in the coffin was, to be like, all right, this motherfucker just tried killing me. I'm not gonna lie, I gotta kind of side on with Kylo Ren on that one.
Well,
But
okay, so I wasn't quite clear on Luke's side of the story until the third time I watched the movie, which was
mhm.
yesterday. Luke's side of the story was he for a second he raised up his lightsaber and he was about to ignite it, and for that brief second he just stopped himself and he said, "What the hell am I doing?" But then by
Mhm.
time that happened, Kylo realized what was going on. That's why he said, "Ben, no." But Kylo was already reaching for that saber. He had to
Yep.
have some kind of defense going on. So he lit fucking Luke lit up his green lightsaber, and then that's when Kylo literally brought the house down.
Yeah, I understand that. And I like it just I don't know. I thought it was a good story. Like
Hmm.
the drama between Luke and Kylo and fucking I thought it was good. I was like, okay, that fucking makes sense. And then how Kylo just fucking slaughtered. He pulled an Anakin. He did the same thing. He slaughtered younglings and fucking shit like that, you know? And that's a
Yeah.
big deal because he killed kids.
Hmm.
So freaking, but like there was several points in here where I thought Kylo was gonna go back light side and fucking join with Rey, and then it just curveball.
But okay, so honestly, would you really have accepted that
No,
had he gone light,
no,
especially in
I
the
would have
last
think he would
movie
have
when he
been.
killed Han Solo?
I would have think he'd been doing it as like, okay, I'm gonna get these people close to me and make them think that I'm going light, and then he's
Yes,
gonna try attacking
he's
them.
playing coy.
Yep.
He's
I mean,
playing
I
coy
think
to get what he wants.
after seeing this, I think Kylo is emotionally unstable, but I think he's a lot smarter than people give him credit for.
Yeah, but for everybody that theorized that he might be going to the light side and Rey might be going to the dark side, look, when you kill Han Solo, there is a large percentage of the people that go to see these movies that if you were to turn him good would be like, no, fuck you. He killed Han Solo. We're not forgiving him for that shit. So at that moment right there when he killed his dad, that was the final nail in the coffin for him. There he is no longer a character that can be redeemed. And now, especially after what happened in this movie, he's so far gone that he's all evil. Luke acknowledged that there's no bringing him back. Rey acknowledged there's no bringing him back. Leia acknowledged that is no longer my son. We have to kill him. Like they all know he's fucked. So
Yeah, I don't think I don't think he's fucking I don't think he's gonna die. I mean like maybe in the next movie they may have to kill him, but I
yeah,
don't know. He's a pretty badass fucking villain.
I liked him a lot more than I did in The Force Awakens. And honestly, I never
Mhm.
really had a problem with his character in The Force Awakens. Like I think Adam Driver is a really good actor, but I don't know, just something about Kylo Ren stuck out a little bit more to me in this movie, and
Yeah.
I think it was because of the just the twists and the turns that the movie took sometimes with his character.
Mhm.
But are we to that throne room scene yet?
No, not yet. We've got
Oh
one
boy.
last here. What about fucking Yoda?
Yoda
I
looked
was
weird at
really,
first.
yeah, I was really happy to see him. Yeah, they seem like they CGI'd him a little too much.
Okay, so what I'm thinking is when they were there, they used practical effects. Like when they were on the island, they used practical effects for that.
Yeah.
But what I'm thinking is, maybe they got a couple of like B-roll shots of the island for just in case we need to like do some CGI for like some pickup stuff here and there.
Hmm.
I think that maybe what they did was realize that where Yoda had come in in like the original cut or whatever, maybe that didn't look right to them, so they were just like, okay, well, we're gonna use one of these B-roll clips, CGI and Yoda real quick for like these 2 or 3 seconds or whatever it was,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna put it back to puppet Yoda. But that was badass.
Yeah.
Seeing Yoda hit Luke in the
Fucking
forehead with his
thing.
cane,
Yeah.
that right there brought me right back to fucking Empire.
Oh yeah.
And
like that dialogue
just,
between them two just had me cracking up.
Yeah.
Like Yoda, it's like Yoda just comes back to fucking troll his ass.
when they showed Yoda's Force Ghost, like the first time that they showed it, like because they don't show you his face, they do this pan down to where you see like the back of his head.
Yep.
And as soon as you see the back of his head, it's just like, oh, they got fucking Yoda in this movie.
Yep.
And so yeah, that was pretty cool. I really liked that. And the first time I saw the movie, because I missed the fact that Rey took the books, I didn't really catch that until I think it was either the second time I saw it, or maybe you told me about it.
Yeah, I caught that the first time I saw it. That's why Yoda burned that thing down so easily.
Yeah,
because he knew the books were gone.
Yeah, but see, like for me, I had no idea. So that when he lit the tree on fire and then he started laughing, I was like, the fuck is wrong with this asshole?
Yeah, that's what I was like, what the fuck? But then later, it's just like a really quick scene. You see somebody else. It wasn't even
quick
Rey.
Scenes.
Yeah, it wasn't even Rey. Somebody was loading Rey's stuff onto the Falcon, and you see them wrap the books in cloth.
Yep.
And yeah, and fucking, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So, but, okay, so Holdo reveals her plan to discreetly evacuate the remaining Resistance members using small transport. Believing her actions to be cowardly and risky, Poe instigates a mutiny. Finn, Rose, BB-8 travel to Canto Bright to acquire the help of the hacker DJ, who is able to help them disable the tracking device. They infiltrate Snoke's ship, but are captured by Captain Phasma, though BB-8 manages to escape. Meanwhile, Rey lands on the ship, and Kylo brings her to Snoke, who reveals that he controlled the mental connection between her and Kylo as a part of his plan to destroy Luke. Ordered to kill Rey, Kylo instead kills Snoke and works together with Rey to kill Snoke's guards. Kylo invites Rey to rule the galaxy with him, but Rey refuses. Using the Force, they struggle for possession of Anakin Skywalker until the lightsaber splits in two.
Okay.
Here's your scene you wanted to talk about.
Let's start at the beginning with Rose and Finn.
Yeah.
Okay, so I really like the character of Rose. I think that they could have given Finn a little bit more to do in this movie, but I like the stuff. At first, I liked the stuff with them. When they got to Canto Bight and they did the whole kind of like, it felt like a PETA service announcement with fucking with them like rescuing the abused animals or whatever, but I get it, you know, it's Star Wars, you know, they have to look out for the creatures and shit like that. I understand that. I didn't really care too much for Canto Bight or Canto Bright or whatever the fuck it's called. Because I don't know, it just seemed like just too much like CG, if that makes any sense. Like okay. Yes, I know that we're talking about Star Wars movies, guys. There's tons of CG in every Star Wars movie. I understand that, but it just didn't look right for some reason. I don't know. What did you think of the Canto Bight planet?
I didn't really have any issues with any of the special effects in this movie. I thought it was all pretty well done. I don't know, maybe it's because I've played a lot of the Star Wars video games, like the Old Republic and stuff, where you get to travel all the different Star Wars planets. So I've seen other planets that are similar to Canto Bight, where
Okay.
they're like casino planets and stuff like that. So to me, it kind of fits, and and especially since it was an Outer Rim territory too, so that makes
Yeah.
even more sense because that's kind of like the lawless zone.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I just like I don't know. I thought Benicio del Toro's character as DJ was kind of weak. I didn't
After
think
seeing
it
it a
was
third
really
time,
absolutely necessary.
yeah. After seeing it a third time, he is kind of the Lando of this movie.
Yeah.
Because, he acts very, welcoming. He's kind of an ally, a friend at first.
And then he fucks them all over.
Yeah, but then you realize he's got ulterior motives and sells them out to the Empire, or in this case, the First Order.
Oh, kind of like Lando.
Yes. But I really wish that they could have done something different with him. I mean, like, why get an actor as good as Mr. Benicio del Toro?
I was like, man, he must have just really wanted to do a cameo in a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Because I was like, they probably could have given him a way better part than this.
And do not let me forget, if I do forget, do not let me forget before the end of this to remind you about the cameo from a former Star Wars director in the movie.
Gareth Edwards.
Okay, so you knew about that.
He was a resistance soldier.
Did you know the first time you saw it that it was him?
Yep.
Okay, because when they showed him in the trenches, for those of you that don't know what scene we're referring to, there's a scene towards the end of the movie where a guy's in the trenches, he tastes the salt that was on the planet, and he's like, salt! And Gareth Edwards is just standing beside him like, yeah.
Do you remember the scene when they're doing the bombing run on that Dauntless or whatever the hell it's called, the Dreadnought?
Yeah.
And that A-Wing pilot that came up and did the fucking, all right, bombers, start your run.
Yeah.
That's Hermione Corfield. She was in Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, King Arthur, the new King Arthur movie with Charlie Hunnam. She was in that.
Yeah.
Freaking, who else made it? I know Joseph Gordon-Levitt had a voice cameo. He was Slow and Low.
Mm-hmm.
Warwick Davis was in it. He was Wadibin. And then I know Gareth Edwards was Resistance pilot. Mark Hamill's children were also in it. All three of his kids as Resistance soldiers, but I don't know which ones they were.
Yeah.
Like where in the movie they were. The same
Carrie Fisher's daughter.
Yeah, she was at the very beginning.
She was throughout the entire movie, though, wasn't she?
I noticed her right away.
Because she had a small part in The Force Awakens, but she had a slightly larger part. Still a minor role, but...
But Prince William, Prince Harry, and Tom Hardy were all also stormtroopers, but I don't know where in the movie they were.
So wait. You just said a bunch of princes and then Tom Hardy.
Prince William, who's the Duke of Cambridge, Prince Harry, and Tom Hardy were all extras as stormtroopers.
Okay.
They all made cameos.
I thought you were like throwing Tom Hardy into the royal family there.
Oh no! It's just that all three of them played stormtroopers. They all did cameos as stormtroopers.
Okay.
And then Justin Theroux.
He was the Codebreaker.
Yeah, he was the Codebreaker guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, he was one of the screenwriters for Tropic Thunder. That's how I know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't say that I've seen really a whole lot of his other work. I know he was in, like, looking at his film credits, he was in Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion, Charlie's Angels Full Throttle.
Okay, just as a sidebar here, I'm gonna leave this in the podcast, but let's try not to get too sidetracked because these mushrooms are kicking in now, and we got to get rolling.
Okay, so what do you think about the fight scene between Rey and Kylo, where they're fighting Snoke's guards, and what do you think about the killing of Snoke? What the fuck, dude? Why the fuck even have Snoke, dude? He served absolutely no purpose at all.
Okay, so basically, I think
Other than seducing Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
So
But I think
essentially,
the
Snoke is
running
a gigantic
theme
pedophile.
behind the entire movie was, hey, we're going to take everything that you guys were expecting and, like a lightsaber, just toss it over our shoulder.
Yeah.
And some people maybe got offended by that. I, however, thought it was a very different choice. Also, hold on. I've got another sidetrack here.
Hold on, stormtroopers are coming for Tackie.
Stormtroopers are coming for Tackie. All right. For people saying that this is not a Star Wars movie because it doesn't feel like a Star Wars movie, look. If you want a Star Wars movie now, it's your typical $500 million, even though these do make a lot of money, but it's your typical blockbuster formula. It's really cool the first couple times you watch it, and then after a while, it's just, I watch it because of the visual effects, or I watch it to put it on in the background because I know everybody will enjoy, coming in on this scene or that scene. They're taking a different approach with their directors in Star Wars. They're trying to keep it fresh. They don't want it to seem like your typical blockbuster movie. And I feel like that's what JJ did with The Force Awakens. Did I like the movie? Yeah, I fucking loved The Force Awakens. But it still felt like that kind of blockbuster, like it had that blockbuster gloss on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that
clear coat before it went out to the fucking the showroom
because to be
floor.
fair, all fucking movies are like that now. So
yeah, so they're trying to do something different with these directors, and yeah, they're gonna do different shit. But if you expected Star Wars to be something, then this movie is kind of throwing your expectations out the window and saying, no, we're going to keep it creative. We're going to keep it fresh. We don't want it to fall into this formula of every other fucking studio. Look, I love the Marvel movies as much as the next person, but you can tell that they have a formula that they follow. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, and these Star Wars movies are trying to do something different, guys. So,
yep. Okay, so now the first time I thought Kylo was gonna fucking go light side was when he killed Snoke. And then Rey caught the lightsaber, and then they fought together. And then I remembered what completes a Sith Lord's training. Killing his fucking master. So that he becomes the master. So now I was like, okay, the only reason they fought together at that point was because it was mutually beneficial for both of them.
Yeah, because they were both fucked. Those guards are coming after both of them.
My theory on what's going to happen is Rey and Kylo are going to fucking hook up, and that's what's going to bring balance to the Force, because she's going to be his grounding rod.
So have a great Jedi, baby.
Yeah, well, yeah, but like, I think that they are, like...
So you're one of the Reylo people?
Kind of. Well, I mean, I don't care. I mean, they can go either way with it, and I'd still be happy. But, you know, I think that that's the direction they're kind of heading in. Because if you think, that's melding the light and dark sides together, which would bring balance. So, freaking... I don't know. But then, you gotta take into account the fucking prophecy of the One... where the One is supposed to bring balance to the Force. What happens if Rey is the One? You know, everyone says Anakin Skywalker was always the One, or it has to be the Skywalkers. What happens if they were wrong? They were wrong the other several hundred fucking times the Jedi thought they had the One. You know, that's well documented in books.
Yeah.
So, freaking... I mean, what happens if they were just wrong about Anakin, and he was just some dude that was really strong with the fucking Force, and... You know, and then... So then
I feel like I'm really strong with the Force right now.
I'm saying, if they kill off the Skywalker line, it gives them creative license to go off with a new story. You know, but it ends that one to where it makes sense, you know? At least to me, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, but basically, I
thought that fight was fucking amazing, though.
Yeah,
between the guards and everything. The
choreography was fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And the lightsaber fighting was fucking cool as shit.
And also, at first, I was kind of disappointed that they killed Snoke. Not because that they had built him up or anything, but because Andy Serkis is a really fucking great actor, and he was actually able to do more with the role of Snoke in this movie. I would have really liked to see him go forward into Episode 9 with that, but...
See, that's the only thing that I was upset about, is I thought the writing for Snoke was weak. Because
you thought it was weak?
Andy Serkis is a great actor, and I really felt that they could have had that character do more. Like, I really would have loved to see a fight scene between either Kylo and
he didn't need
Rey
to,
against.
He didn't need to. He sat in that chair and did more damage than he probably could have done standing up.
Yeah, but still, man, like a fight scene between Snoke and Luke or all of them it would have been fucking badass, you know? But
I think it would have been over quick because he would rather use the Force than actual physical force. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. But see, that's how Luke is too, because that's what that green lightsaber signifies. There's the lightsaber colors all mean different things. And
what did Mace Windows mean? Mace Windows 10.
He was a fucking gray Jedi. Because he had the ability to use both light and dark side of the Force. And people who have...
because his lightsaber was purple?
No, people who have the purple lightsaber typically have a more aggressive fighting style, and they are trained on both sides of the Force.
Oh, I thought it was just because it was
Jackson. But that's why when you see him in that scene in Episode 3, when he goes to kill the Emperor, why he's so, like, fucking, so aggressive... That's why. Yeah. It's because they have a fucking aggressive fighting style.
While we're on the subject of aggressive natures and fighting styles, don't you think that not only in The Last Jedi, but in The Force Awakens as well, that Rey has a very aggressive approach?
Yes, I do.
And look, don't get me wrong. I like the fact, I liked all the lightsaber stuff that she was doing in Episode 7, even though we did not get enough of it. But when she turned the lightsaber the other way around and started using it that way, that was when I was starting to really get impressed. Because not until I think it was The Force Unleashed that I personally saw it in first. Where like the cover of The Force Unleashed, not the Ultimate Sith edition or whatever, but the original one, where he's holding those two lightsabers the way that he's holding them, I was like, dude, that looks so badass. I've never seen a fucking Jedi do that before.
Yeah.
Or in his case, a Sith. But I was just like, man, I would really love to see that fucking worked into a movie. And
I
now
definitely think Rey is going to rebuild the lightsaber using the Kyber crystal that's in that fucking lightsaber.
A lot of people are thinking that she's going to use that staff to do it. Because she's still carrying around that staff.
I think she's going to also. I think she's either going to have a double-sided staff saber like Darth Maul, or she's going to have like a pike saber.
Right.
Because that's actually a thing too, and those of you who play a lot of the Star Wars video games, you've seen the pike saber quite a bit. I mean, there's all sorts of different lightsaber variations that you see in the games, but I don't know what Disney's going to do. I mean, Disney's probably going to go with the standard fucking one-handed or, double-handed fucking lightsaber like they do, all the other lightsabers, other than freaking Dooku, Yoda, and fucking Maul. Okay.
I have to take a quick pee break, but go ahead and read off your next paragraph so we can get into the next part of the discussion here.
All right. A recovered Leia stuns Poe, allowing the evacuation to begin. Holdo remains on the ship to mislead Snoke's fleet, as all others attempt to flee to a nearby old Rebel Alliance base on Crate. However, DJ reveals the Resistance's plan to the First Order, and the evacuation transports are targeted with heavy losses. Holdo sacrifices herself by ramming Snoke's fleet at light speed to stop the barrage. Rey escapes in the chaos, while Kylo declares himself new Supreme Leader. BB-8 frees Finn and Rose, who escape the defeating after defeating Captain Phasma, and join the survivors on the evacuation on Crate. When the First Order arrives, Poe, Finn, and Rose lead a charge with old speeders. Rey draws the TIE Fighters away with the Millennium Falcon, while Rose saves Finn from suicide run against the main enemy cannon, which blasts a hole in the enemy resistance fortress. That fucking main enemy cannon I'd like to throw out there was fucking badass because it was miniaturized Death Star technology. So imagine a miniature fucking Death Star.
Oh, well.
It just blasts through the fucking door. It is pretty cool.
Oh, I thought I came in at the end of your paragraph. I was about to say, oh, well, perfect timing.
I'm done with it. I read it already.
Okay. So what are we at now? The end of the movie?
Near the end. It's where they flee to Crate, and this is the scene where Holdo does her thing with the light speed. And then Rey escapes. Kylo declares himself new Supreme Leader. Yeah, and fucking Captain Phasma gets defeated, and then fucking they all go to that planet. And then this is up to very reminiscent of Empire Strikes Back, where the walkers are approaching the base, and then they're in speeders and going. It was a nice homage to that, but there was no snow. No, it was like a fucking desert type planet.
It's all salt. Yeah,
all salt. That's what it was.
It was all salt that McDonald's is going to come through and fucking clean that planet. Fucking, they're going to wipe it clean.
Yeah, this is also the scene in the movie that I mentioned earlier, folks, that there is a scene where they have like 2 minutes of complete silence. This is the scene we're talking about. 2 minutes. Well, it's not 2 minutes.
It's like 20 seconds.
It's a few seconds of complete silence. This is that scene. But basically, Holdo needed to create a distraction to let the fleeing rebels get a chance to get down to the planet. And
that was a crazy distraction.
Yeah, she freaking hit fucking hyperspeed right into a Star Destroyer, and it was fucking gnarly. That was probably some of the best special effects I've seen in a fucking movie.
Well, not just that, but like
years.
just going mute.
Yeah.
For like all of that. Each time I watched it, it's just you could just hear the audience.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that is why they made that fucking silent.
Yep.
I was like, that is beautiful. That is a beautiful moment.
And that, to me, any movie that can make somebody cry or elicit that powerful of an emotional response out of somebody. Yeah, that can elicit an emotional response from somebody is a good movie to me.
Oh, yeah. Very, very well deserved. So, okay. Let's go ahead and get to the planet. The stuff with Luke and Kylo.
Okay, so very end.
I did not know at first.
Yeah. I didn't
that it was a projection.
But I'm going to give them a little filler because I didn't read that part yet. But basically, as the Imperial walkers approach the rebel stronghold, they've already blasted a fucking hole through the door. One person comes walking out of the rebel base, and it's Luke Skywalker. He does have a couple of dialogue scenes inside the base with Leia and a couple other characters, but they're not super important. He comes walking out. Kylo sees him because he's in the main walker and fucking orders the First Order to just fire all the walkers, everything just starts firing at him. And you're like, oh, fuck, they're going to kill Luke. Holy shit. This is fucking gnarly. And then after this huge barrage, he's just standing there in this fucking crater. It's so badass with this fuck you look on his face. And then Kylo comes out. And the fucking fight ensues. As they're fighting, it's fucking gnarly. You start to see all the resistance fighters start getting on the Millennium Falcon, and they start flying them out of there and getting them out of there. Basically, then fucking Kylo charges Luke. Luke does the Ben Kenobi thing, holds his saber up, and fucking Kylo's saber just goes clean through him. Doesn't even hurt him. Then you come to find out that it's a force projection.
Luke actually turns his saber off.
Yeah.
Before Kylo goes charging after
just
him.
like Kenobi did.
Mm-hmm.
And freaking then
well, I think what you had said was put it down. I want to make it clear to everybody that it was also off.
He and then it cuts to him on Ahch-To.
He's using safety.
He kind of passes out. Well, not really passes out, but he's exhausted, and he lays down on this like platform and disappears. Very similar to Yoda in Return of the Jedi. Basically, he becomes one with the Force. Leia reassures everyone that the rebellion has all that is needed to be on the rise again, and as the rebel forces are escaping, well, at first, before Kylo kills Luke, he goes, finally I will kill the last Jedi, and then Luke looks him in the eye and says, "You are not the last Jedi," and then that's when he strikes him and realizes it's a Force ghost. Then it cuts to the fleeing rebels, and Rey they're trying to get out of the tunnel, but the tunnel is covered with rocks. And then all of a sudden all the rocks lift, and it shows Rey standing there using the Force to move all the rocks out of the way. And so it implies that Rey is the last Jedi. Right. Now, the ending scene, this is the one that really struck with me, that made me understand what Disney is doing with this series. And fucking basically it cuts to on Canterbright. There's a little cut scene where Finn and them are running through, and they run through this group of kids who's getting yelled at because they're like kind of slaves, I guess, or they're treated very poorly by
they're out after their bedtime, but they're not they're not free children.
It cuts back to these kids, and the kids are getting a little argument thing with their keeper, their owner, whatever, and they all dart off into separate things. As one kid runs outside, and as he runs outside, he looks up in the sky, like kind of freaking hopefully, and he reaches over to grab a broom, and the broom force pulls to him, and he grabs it, which is telling me they're not the last Jedi, because now force sensitive children are starting to come back into play. Which means that's what I think Rey's going to restart the Jedi Order, changing the rules of it a little bit, maybe modernizing it, and then going around, and then that will also allow them to continue the series, because there can be all sorts of new storylines with different kids that she collects up to start the new Jedi Order and trains them, and new other Jedi, and there's still one fucking Jedi, Quinlan Vos, who's unaccounted for, that has a storyline that is draped in mystery. So, I don't know, maybe we haven't seen the end of him yet either, because I don't think he was human. So, but there was but then again, he was in the books too, and Disney said the books aren't canon anymore. So,
well, the books that they are doing after the acquisition, of Lucasfilm,
but he's not in any of those books. So.
Okay.
These are books that were from before that.
Okay.
But it would be really neat if they would do something like that, like bring that back. So
yeah. I thought that the few points that I'm going to bring up here really quickly are the Luke Skywalker. I want that wallpaper of Luke Skywalker, and in the background are just like all those walkers just looking down at him. I want that as a fucking wallpaper on my computer so bad. I don't know why.
Oh yeah.
But I really wish that we could have got a little bit more of a fight out of Luke, but I like where they went with it. And I also understand that if Luke did try to fight, that it would have used up more energy than he was already using to force project himself. So he was using more like defensive techniques.
Yeah, and I thought it was completely plausible. Like, I think it made like when you see that it's a forced
Mm-hmm.
projection and he passes out, like he's projecting that across the galaxy.
Right,
Like
right.
that fucking, I mean, I'm sure that drains the fuck out of him.
Oh yeah. I mean, it killed him.
Yeah.
You
But I
know.
mean, I wonder now if in episode 9 we're going to see all the Force ghosts together: Kenobi, Yoda, Anakin, Luke.
I think you can do Luke, or no. I'm almost positive that you'll see Luke.
Definitely positive you'll see Yoda.
Yoda, eh, definitely positive.
Yeah. If he was
Okay.
in this movie, they'll put him in another one.
Well, yeah, that's true. I think you're gonna see more Luke though than anything else,
Yeah.
as far as like Force ghosts are
I mean, you'll
concerned.
probably see him in like the closing scene, like right before the credits, you know, where they'll
Right.
like all be standing in the background or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully not. Hopefully, Luke will actually do more training with Rey, but this time it's a Force ghost. I
Uh,
honestly think that that's the way that they're going to go with it,
yeah, I
regardless of
could
how
see that.
they, regardless of how they choose to do it in this next movie. Though you're definitely going to see Luke as a Force ghost in the next one. So,
Oh yeah.
um, but yeah, the thing that I wanted to point out really quickly is at the or towards the beginning of the entire movie, Luke said something that was just like, "What do you just expect me to go out there and face them all with a laser sword, like by myself?" And at the end of
Hmm.
the movie, he steps out there with his laser sword,
By
ready to
himself.
face the fucking First Order. Yes, by
Yeah.
himself. So I thought that was kind of cool. Also, another callback to earlier on in the movie was where Ray said something about, or no, Luke asked Ray, "What do you think the Force is?" And she's like, "Moving stuff with your mind and lifting rocks." And at the end of the movie, she was like, "Lifting rocks." And, there you go.
Yeah.
So I thought those were pretty cool callbacks to things that were either mentioned or suggested upon towards the beginning of the film. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I just thought that whole fucking scene was just
Mm-hmm.
amazingly done.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh
then,
yeah.
but like at the end too, when you see Luke, you're like, no. And then I was kind of like, fuck this movie,
Yeah. I
just for a brief minute.
it it does take a minute to process because you're like, wait, that's all we're gonna get of him, and then you have to stop yourself and think, well, no, dumbass, he's gonna be a fucking Force ghost in the next one. He's
Yeah.
gonna be more powerful in the
Oh
next
yeah.
one. So, I mean, I honestly don't think we're gonna see any kind of fighting with Luke. I think we're probably gonna get more training, or maybe just him as a Force ghost. So I don't know. I liked it overall. Let's give our scores and everything.
I very much enjoyed it. I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5. I wasn't the best one because, like I said, I still like the originals the best. But like I said, it wasn't bad. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go 4.5 out of
Ooh,
5.
getting those
Gotta
decimals.
get those decimals, man. Gotta get those decimals. Um, but yeah,
Oh, we
that
forgot
was
one important thing.
what's that?
What did you think about the porgs and the crystal foxes?
Okay, so the crystal foxes, they were fine. I mean, it was a plot device that they had to use to figure out that there was another way out of that cave, even though they said that there was only one way in and out. The porgs, they were funny. Uh, there were definitely funny moments with the porgs. I hope that they're not going to stick around though, because they can get kind of annoying. So. That's
Yeah,
what I thought about the porgs and the what I thought were going to be Jedi direwolves.
Jedi
I
direwolves. What the
yeah,
fuck?
there was something in some of the older books about there being some kind of direwolves, like some kind of like weird Jedi dogs.
That
I
would be
don't know, man.
so cool.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, you want to wrap the review up and everything?
Yeah, I think that's about it for Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I recommend go seeing it.
You said you gave it a 4, right?
Yep,
He gave it
give
a
it 4
4.
out of
I gave it a
5.
4.5. I think it's definitely worth your money. It was definitely worth all of my money
Oh
that I
yeah, I
spent to
think
go
it's
see it.
definitely worth it to see this movie at the theater.
Um, the third time I saw it was in 3D.
Did you prefer it in 2D or 3D?
That's what I wanted to talk to you about. The honest to God truth, I prefer all movies in 2D except for Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad has really good 3D. If maybe you just mute the movie or something and then just
That's
watch
just
it.
because you just want to see Margot Robbie in 3D.
No, they have really good 3D in Suicide Squad. And but that's the only way that I could really enjoy it. But it it wasn't all that. It wasn't like a 3D spectacle. And I knew that going into it that it wasn't going to be a 3D spectacle, but I don't know. It seeing a movie in 3D definitely enhances it to a degree because you are able to separate, like the background from the foreground a little bit better. I don't know.
Yeah.
We can go into very deep discussion about 2D and 3D right now. But we have to call this podcast quits. So my name is Tactical Bacon, aka Tacky Chan, aka Glassin as fuck, and
Faded Calico Jack.
Faded Calico Jack right there. And that is the end of our Star Wars review. So hope
If
you
you
guys
guys
like
need
it.
links to our stuff, just look down in the video description.
Look
It'll
down
be
in the
down in there.
description. Make sure you guys like this podcast. Subscribe to the channel. We're gonna be doing more of these.
Like
And
the fuck out of this shit.
like the fuck out of it. There we go. All right. See you guys in the next one.
See you later, guys.